At South Valley Academy, a requirement we had is that we had to do community service each year. My freshman year, I volunteered to help out my old elementary school, Barcelona. In my sophomore year, I was given the opportunity to go into a nonprofit organization in order to complete the class. My teacher offered me the opportunity to join Generation Justice, a nonprofit organization that is dedicated for the empowerment of youth of color as well as social justice. I always had a deep, tenacious desire for social justice, as well as social equality. I feel like everyone is unique, and that is what makes each and every one of us beautiful. So when my teacher offered me this destination for my site, I immediately accepted it. And it was exciting, but I was also nervous. I felt a sense of urgency, like something was missing, like I was being thrown into a place where no other student wanted to attend, like I was being thrown into the fiery pits of Mordor. My nervousness came from knowing I will only be the only one going there, meaning I will have to learn everything on my own. And as a sophomore, I was even more afraid because I was an underclassman on a college campus alone. Everything about being an independent underclassman was scary. I trembled at the thought that I would have to be on my own. To put it in perspective, I was 15, barely legal to drive without an adult in the car. I couldn't get a job. The idea of me being alone and on my own scared me. Of course, as a young teenager, I had other things to worry about, like sports and after-school activities, but nothing, not even drama, would prepare me for what I had to become. The journey to Generation Justice was more of the same feeling, that feeling of fear and anxiety. When I got on the bus, I knew it would take a long time to drop me off, but I did not know is that I would be the final person to be dropped off to their site, which was terrifying in its own right. On the bus, I had friends, but the only thing that was on my mind was how I should act and what I will say. This was stuck through the entire journey. After getting off the bus, the friends I did have on the bus went the opposite way of where I went. This was the final parting, and this was the time when my own journey started, an unexpected journey. When heading towards Onate Hall, I noticed a bike rack that had a tire of a bike. I could tell that the lock was still on the bike, meaning that the wheel once belonged to a bike, which was now stolen. As assessing the situation, I approached the other building, seeing college students who looked at me weird, who looked at me like I was an alien from another Earth, who looked at me like I was a child not belonging to this campus. Finally, when reaching the door, I noticed that there was a speaker as well as a passcode lock, meaning I could not get in until someone comes out or goes into the building. And then I saw an older man approach, who then opens the door but doubts my belonging to the building. I then spoke up for myself to tell him I was looking for Generation Justice. After this, he let me in and told me this way is the way to go. Go forward, take a right, then a left, then a right. And that is where the elevator is. As I passed, I saw that there's 2 vending machines, both much older than me. It seemed to have older snacks that I have never heard of before. Some of them were even expired. As I took my first left, I noticed that all the rooms had the doors wide open. I passed the first 2 rooms with nobody in sight. In fact, the whole building seemed empty. As soon as I reached the elevator, a man comes out who did not look friendly and stares me down as I enter the elevator. When looking at the buttons, I noticed that GJ had its own level 2. I pressed it, and when going up, the lights flickered, as well as the elevator screeching and hissing, seeming unstable. When I got to the level, I walked through the hall to find Katori Zuni, who greeted me with a smile. I was still nervous, but when I saw that all the people there were smiling, I felt comfortable. I finally felt accomplished.